Thank you guys. Thank you for being here today. Oh, yes. Thank you today. It's lunchtime, but thank you all for being here. I hope you all can hear me and everything. I know we just got a small crowd today because I'm doing something different. I'm trying to love and marriage Huntsville is not the only thing out in this world today, but so I'm trying to bring some more real life situations that's going on in a lot of households out here today that people don't want to talk about. Just like everybody didn't know what a narcissist was, and we didn't talk about it. If we did, we didn't know the husbands that abuse you, or the boyfriend, or the fiance, or whatever that's in your house. You just thought he was crazy, but not realizing this man is a whole narcissist. Got that narcissist personality disorder. Yeah. Now you know what they are. You got a name for them. You just thought it was crazy, or just flipping out, or just thought it was the alcohol. No, we got a whole big name for those people. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to continue with our follow up from yesterday. I know we got a small crowd, but small crowd is not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fact that uh, we had a name for that demon man. Now we're going to figure we got a name for people that abuse um, our children. Okay. Now, let me just say everything is alleged. This is my opinion only. And this video that I'm making is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Okay. And everything on my channel is covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear it and talk about it or whatever, but that's okay. That's okay in my book. Because even if I get one person to open their eyes, or two people to open their eyes so they can see, maybe that little daughter of yours I've been telling you things and you've been just not wanting to hear it. Or maybe the church that you belong to is not that is all that is cracked up to be. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Yes. Listen to our children when they say things to you. Watch their behavior. If they're a loving, fun, bubbly child, and all of a sudden that is gone out of their eyes, that spirit is gone, that joyful spirit that they had, maybe you need to look into it. Okay. So we're going to continue. This is what we talked about last night. And you can see what the title is. I think a lot of the title is what's scaring people. They rather hear about the narcissist making up more lies. But I haven't forgotten. I'm still going to talk about him. I'm still going to talk about that demon man. Yeah. But everybody's talking about him. I'm still going to talk about him too. But I think the title that I on my thumbnail is scaring people off because they don't want to see what's going on in their own house, or in their own family house, or in their mother's house, or in their father's house, or in their sister's house, or somebody's house. Okay, it's okay to be afraid to see what's going on. Okay, but by being afraid and not opening your eyes, it's not going to help that child. It's going to just keep putting that child in the harm's way. And most people do believe it's okay for a child to be hurt like this. Make sure while you all are here, the few people that are here, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell. So anytime I drop a new video, you will be notified. But I need you all to hit that thumbs up for me. That thumbs up is very important to me. So even if you're hiding out in the bushes, hit that thumbs up button for me. I will and duly appreciate that. I will appreciate that. Okay. And so, as I said before, It's about, this is a cult leader of the Knight of the Crystal Blade. That's what they call themselves. And he believes that it's okay. His name is John Coltharp. Think it's okay. Now, I don't think he believes it. I just think the man is a psychopath. And, I'm not a doctor. And all this is allegedly, but I'm not a doctor. But I'm just saying what I see. It's just saying what I see. But anyway, he thinks it's okay to marry all 4-year-olds. He married a 4-year-old himself. And then he also married one of his daughters that's not even able to go to kindergarten and not even kindergarten age yet. These kids too young to go to kindergarten. You know what I mean? Half of them just got out of Pampers or pull-ups. But it's okay to marry and consummate a marriage with a child. I don't know where his thinking is, but he's doing it all under religion. I think the man needs to be locked up forever. But he is in. We'll talk about that later. He is in prison for 26 years to life. Him and the rest of them. His right-hand man, the third man, and every last. And now the father of that young child, the father and the mother, are facing their own investigation now because they just thought it was okay. Okay. But even if he started out messing with his own sister, RAPE, his own sister. But did the dad or mom say anything? No. And then he moved on to other things and other people, kidnapping little kids. Okay. But anyway, I tell you. So make sure y'all hit the like button coming in and make sure you hit that notification bell. Even if you're in the bushes, make sure you hit something coming in. All right. Now, and also what I'm going to do, last night I did show you all some of the stuff, but today I'm going to make sure I put up the, I'm going to show more information. I want to show you all when they got that Amber Alert for those children to go looking for them. And then I want to talk more about showing when they was investigated by, they were sitting in their little holding room or whatever you call that room being questioned by the investigators. Okay. So I do want to make sure I show that as well. I tell you, these people are just gone. This is what I call gone crazy. They are gone crazy. And it's okay to be afraid to listen to this because a lot of us got this going on in our house. I won't say it's me because I don't have this going on in my house, but a lot of you all have this going on in your house. If it's not your house, a house that you know, or it could have been going on in your house when you was a kid, So we need to look at all this. We can't just hide things just because we don't want to hear them, because I guess this is closer to home. And I wouldn't call, I first said this man got to be a narcissist, but he's a psychopath. And like I said, I'm not even a doctor, and this is just my opinion. But it's alleged, but it's still my opinion, So I'm not going to put nothing past him. Nothing at all. Okay, so let me go into what I'm going to do is go into, let me see, do I have it up right now? I think I do. Okay, this is going to be some of the when they're investigating them. This is from this is, if you want to see more of this, I'm not going to show it all, but if you want to see more of this is actually from um, a content creator called Explore with Us. Okay, Explore with Us. You can go over to their site and you can watch as much of it as you can. This is a whole uh, alive. So I'm just going to show a moment of it because I don't want to show it all. I'm just going to show a brief moment of it. But it's best if I go to the authorities' website to show it. Let me let me just try to go to their website. It'll be better to show this. Okay. Let me just go to their. Let me just. Okay. I'm trying to get up. Let me just see. I'm trying to get to it, guys. I know. Hi, Greta Lee. Thank you for being in the Pink House, Greta Lee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're talking about how this cult thinks it's okay to marry kids as young babies. I'm not going to say they're kids, babies as young as 4 years old and consummate the marriage. Thank you, Greta Lee, for 4 watches and 4 likes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, this is something I worked on last night, and I'm doing a follow-up on it. Is this real? A man married a 4-year-old and he's in jail? Yes, it is real. Yes, it is real. He married, his name is John Coltharp, and he married a 4-year-old. And then he also married his daughter as well. And when they married these kids, they don't marry them when they're 13, 14, 15, 16, or 18 years old. They marry them when they're babies. And they consummate the marriage. Yes. Hi, Sheila Aaron. Thank you for coming in, Sheila Aaron. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, I know, what is the world coming to? God help us all. Yes. And the reason why I'm bringing this story to life is because being on social media and watching the news all the time too, I hear so much of this. And just like we did not know what a narcissist, a lot of people did not know what a narcissist was until Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay. They had no idea what that was. And some women was living with them. They married him. They was boyfriend and girlfriend. They father was one or something. You know what I mean? And they didn't even know. They just thought the man was crazy, just crazy, just a wife beater or a fiance beater, just crazy, right? That was further. That was true. It was true. But that man was a narcissist. And then when we start watching Love and Marriage Huntsville and everybody talking about that demon man, we realize, because we had a lot of psychiatrists and psych people that came into the chat and they was talking about it and bringing it up. And everybody started looking it up, started reading up on it, started watching his behavior and watching the things he do. And now we all know one when we see one. Right? So we didn't know we had them in our household, didn't know we was married to them, didn't know we was letting our kids be watched by them. Okay? So now what I'm trying to bring out is the fact that in our household, there's a lot of people on social media, in our chats and other people's chats and everything, all over social media, did not know there was what we call, this man is just not a narcissist. He's a psychopath. He's crazy. Make sure everybody hit the like button coming in, because that's how I get paid. That's how I stay in the algorithm. Okay? That's how I stay in the algorithm. Okay, so if you're in the bushes, if you're hiding out somewhere, if you forgot to hit it coming in, just hit the button for me. It does nothing for you, but it does a lot for me. Now, so when I saw this, about 2 weeks ago, and I kept saying, I'm going to bring it to the forefront. I'm going to bring it to the forefront. And I was told, that'll be great. And then every time I say, I'm going to go live with this tomorrow. Then tomorrow comes, I say, you've been saying that for a while. So I finally did it last night. Greta say, 10 watchers got the likes to match. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now, thank you, Greta. Now, it's happening in a lot of people in our chats, and a lot of people on social media. They're too ashamed or afraid to say, that's going on in my household. My grandbaby be telling me this, or my daughter be telling me this. And some women know it's going on, but they're afraid to let that man go, that boyfriend that they just brought into the house. They're afraid to let that boyfriend know that, yeah, thank you. I said what I said for being here as well. Make sure everybody coming in, hit that like button, as I said before. Thank you. I said what I said. Thank you all for supporting me doing something that not many people want to shine a light on, because they're afraid to see it. They're afraid. They don't want to talk about it. You hadn't heard it in the old days where women would tell their grandkids or their daughter, he didn't do that to you. You be quiet. You just being fast. They love to throw around that term. You fast. Go sit down somewhere. And that would be further from the truth. That man, they'll blame the child before they blame that man. And that child is a child. That man is a grown man. If he's there to be your partner or your boyfriend sleeping with you in the bed, why is it when you go to sleep, he tiptoe over to that child's room? Or he wait till you leave and then he tiptoe go find that child? Why do he always want her to sit up in his lap? I can't stand that. That's not your daddy, that's not your brother or your sister, or your don't sit up in some strange man's lap. That is true. They don't tell what happened to them. And these people are using it as a religious thing, The occult leader, John Coltharp, he's the leader. He said he was given the revelations by God. It's whole heavenly law for this to happen. Heavenly law. That's how he explains it. Now, he can kiss my dirty shoes that I've been walking outside on for that one, because he know he lying. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you all a little more of this first. For the ones that was with me last night, you all know where this went. Okay, but I'm going to give you a little summary of. Let me see who we're talking about. I'm going to bring up their pictures first of all. But anybody that didn't, I'm going to make sure you know who we're talking about. I'm just going to give a quick snapshot of the other people so you know. Okay, do you see? These are the crazy folks. Yeah, those are the crazy folks. Okay, you can call them crazy if you want to, because they are the crazy folks. This man is lying. God would not approve this. Yeah, he's lying. And he got a whole lot of people to believe his lies. He got a group of people in his church. He got his church members to believe those lies. Why would you, Lord? Let me bring this up. Now, I'm going to just go quickly over the stuff I showed last night, but I want to bring it up so for the people that didn't get a chance to see none of this last night, so you can see where we're going with this, okay? Okay. Now, this is the thumbnail from last night. This is the one from last night. You see where the circles are? Those are little girls right here. 4 little girls, and these are 2 boys here. The 2 boys, the boys, soon as they get of age, along with the girls, they take them out in the desert and leave them, hoping they don't find their way home. But they do. They find their way home, and then they take them back later. A day or so later, they take them back out there to leave them. Because they don't want those little boys to grow up to be competition with the girls. Girls that are 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, they're not thinking about no boyfriend. If they do say they got a boyfriend, it's just, you know how kids say, that's my boyfriend. That don't mean they're doing anything. If they hold hands, they be running. Oh, yeah. It's just like kids play. Okay. I don't understand why adult people can't distinguish right from wrong. Shaking my head. I can't understand that either. Okay. I can't either. That's my disclaimer again. That's my trigger warning. I do have a trigger warning that I do bring up from time to time so you all can know I got it. I'm going the wrong way. Okay. Okay. Let me see. This is crime, shame, adult abusing kids this way. This is pure evil. Gretelly, that's why I'm trying to bring a light to this, because this is happening. Just like a lot of women were so thankful when Melanie shared her story. Melanie got away, and we start seeing this man for exactly what he was, that demon tail man. This is so we can shine a light on this. So the women that's going through this stuff, knowing, so you can know you can get away from this. Don't let this keep happening to your child. This is not going to help that child to be a well-rounded person in society. This is going to traumatize this child for years to come. Okay. Now, this is the cult leader. Okay. That's him right there. That's the second member. Okay. This is the one that married the first one married the 4-year-old. This one married the a 6-year-old. He's 30, I think 30, he's 32. No, he's 34, and he married a 5-year-old. He married a 5-year-old, and he's 34. Now, I did see today when I was looking, there's also a dark-skinned man, a black young guy that's in this cult now. And I hope he didn't marry one of these kids. I couldn't see it or anything, but he's in it. There are not cult leaders. They are pedophiles, period. Yeah, you're right. They're the P's. Okay? You see what I say, the Knights of the Crystal Blade was a small polygamist, fundamentalist Mormon offshoot founded by Samuel Schaeffer. They believed that doomsday would arrive in the form of a Muslim invasion and planned to kidnap many more children, leading up to the end days. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord, I tell you. Okay, let me get on. I got now the information I'm getting ready to show you. This is from the dailymail.com. I do want to make sure that everybody know where I got this information from. And if you want to read more, you can go over to dailymail.com. This is information that you haven't seen. So this is all new here for today. This was published by James Gordon from dailymail.com. All right. So I just want you to know that. It show chilling moments. I'm gonna show you some chilling moments where the cops find the missing girls on Doomsday cult compound, where the kids as young as 4, was married to their fathers in SA. Utah sisters was kidnapped by their father and kept in freezing barrels in 2017. They were being hidden by the polygamous cult leader who were also their father. John Coltharp and fellow cult leaders Samuel Schaefer they're serving at least 26 years to life. Now they're still serving 26 years to life for this. These are sick demonic behaviors. Yes, you are right, Sheila. Now this is Samuel Schaefer. This is a picture of him doing the police questioning following his December 17 arrest. Okay, this is when they was questioning him. He looked like he's a bum. Look at him. That's him. Now, how is this man? I don't even think a woman his age would want to marry him, but he married a 6-year-old. I don't think nobody would want to marry his butt. I know not me. Oh my God, he looks so gross. Okay. This is him in the holding room being questioned by the popo. Now, oh, did I go back? I keep going the wrong direction. Now, this one here is Samuel Schaefer, who was 34 at the time of his 2017 arrest, founded the group based on, oh Lord, arcane Mormon ideas, long abandoned by the mainstream church, including promoting child marriage and polygamy. Yeah, he just turned it into his own sicko thing. He looks nasty and disgusting. He does. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, I tell you. Okay. Now this is John Copeland. He's the leader. He's the leader of this tiny fundamentalist doomsday cult. The cult is the Knights of the Crystal Blade. And he has he's not even apologetic at it or anything at his sentence in Utah in 2018. He said he'll do it again. Okay, this is a snapshot of him. This is his mugshot. John Coltharp, who was 35 at the time of his arrest in 2017, likened himself to Old Testament prophets and insists that marrying children was the right thing to do. Oh my God, didn't I tell you that? They think this is what they're doing is right. That's why he was preying on kids, because he couldn't get nobody else his age. Dirty animal. Who would want these? Oh, Lord. Now, this is Schaefer, 34, was in jail on the 2018 for 26 years to life. He getting 26 years to life for child R and abuse after also, let me just say this. I think he also going to get 15 years too. Another set of 15 years. I can't remember exactly, but I think there's going to be an additional 15 years to be served as well. Now, I can't remember where I heard it this morning. Okay, so when it comes up, when I see it, I'll let you all know. Okay, for child R in A, after he secretly married young girls because of his belief in pornography and doomsday. God bless the children in these horrible situations. Yeah, bless them and take care of them, because we got sickos out here. Now, the reason why the kids' faces are here, they're already all over social media. They're already all over the everywhere. Even the police, the popo got their pictures up. Okay. So these are the kids. The mothers, the two mothers. I want to say that's Diana and Hattie was reported missing along with their brothers, William and Seth. The two boys were also found safe on the compound just before the girls was discovered. So those the two boys, one in the shorts and one in the green shirt, and then the two girls. And the reason why they was found safe is because the fathers, the leader, decided he's going to kidnap his children, but also had the other man, his right-hand man, to kidnap his. Make that make sense from their mothers. And did they provide for them while they're kidnapping them? No. They put them out in freezing cold weather in some barrels, plastic barrels, with no cover, no blankets, no nothing, but maybe a cardboard and I think something that looked like a rug or something. I don't know. These kids had no clothes on. Half of them had no shoes on, no jackets, no nothing. And out in the desert, it may be 110, 120 degrees during the day, but then at night it may drop down so low you could barely function. And that's what happened. Thank you, Pinkie, for bringing this to light. I have never heard of it. Oh, thank you, Greta Lee. This is not the end of the story. I'll be bringing this story up to its conclusions. We're going to follow this story, okay? And then also, I do want to. I'm going to release pre-recorded another story. Just came across me this morning. It's about a young lady that was held captive for 2 months, and she finally broke away from the man that kidnapped her, and she just took off running, crossed until she got to the service station. You can see her running. The cameras on the outside of the stores and buildings captured her running, crossed to this service station. As soon as she gets in, opens the door and get in the service station, she starts screaming, call the popo, call 911, help, call 911. And she goes beeline straight to the bathroom door. She goes into the bathroom, she locks the door behind her, she would not come out. She waited when police, the popo did show up, she still refused to come out. They had to get a woman officer in there as well, and she was too afraid to even with the popo in the building. And she wanted to make sure nobody comes into the store before she comes out. So they guarded the door, made sure nobody was in the store but them and the owner. And she did not still want to come out. The lady police officer had to stand at the door to make sure nobody comes in. They had to lock themselves in there before she came out. And we're going to follow that story. And that story just happened 7 days ago. Okay, so that was last week. And I do have it on my reminder thing to show it. I'm going to do that thumbnail. I'm going to actually do it pre-recorded on it today. And so I can get it out there. And then we're going to follow it up with, because we want to know what happened. How did he kidnap her? What happened and everything. And when they did find the guy, I want y'all to listen to this. When they did come across him and find him, he was charged with 2 other counts of the same exact thing, kidnapping, holding somebody against their will, not once, but twice. He keeps getting locked up, but he keeps getting out too early. And then it happens again. And I think if he keeps being let out, he's going to keep doing the same thing. Okay? Hi, Deborah Jackson. Thank you for coming into the Pink House. Thank you so much for coming in. We're following up on the story from last night. about the this leader of this cult. He married a 4-year-old. And one thing we didn't talk about last night, he also married his daughter, one of his daughters. He married one of his daughters. And remember, all his daughters, they're young. They're not even in kindergarten. But he married one of his daughters. But also he married that 4-year-old too. So thank you for showing up, Deborah. Okay. Now, so these are the they didn't the popo wasn't aware of what was going on until the two mothers called their kids in as missing. And when they did that, they put out an Amber Alert because these are small kids. It ain't like, oh, they just ran away. They may just kids do. No, these are kindergartners. These are little bitty kids. They ain't gonna just run away. Okay. So the police gets involved. Okay. I'm just gonna say D. Coltharp. That is his. I'm gonna. It's 8 left. So one on was to the left. That was 8. That's the one on the top. Okay. And Hattie is the one at the bottom. She's the 4-year-old. I just happened to stack the pictures instead because that's how they fit better on my slide. So the oldest one, she's 8, and then the 4-year-old is at the bottom of the slide. Okay. Yeah, he is sick-minded, sleeping with babies. And you got to remember, some men out here today, they'll go start dating a woman with children. They don't want to date you if you don't have kids. They want to date you when you got young kids, because then their whole idea is to start liking you, come home with you, sleep with you, throw that thing on you, love bomb you, and stay there so they can have access to your kids. You're just a cover. They're gonna sleep with you every night, give you what you want, but then their main thing is those kids. That's what they want. They want free access to your kids. That's what they want. So you have to watch men like that. And these kids are being held on a compound in Luna, I think that's Lana, Texas, by their father's cult leader friend who helped the popo will not find, hope the popo will not find them, but the popo did. The popo found them in the nick of time too. Now this person here, I know y'all wondering, who is this fool? Who is this fool? Okay. Samantha Schaefer, 5, and Lily Schaefer, 6. So the 5-year-old is sitting on the left, and a 6-year-old is standing beside him, right? Were also found on the site. So these are 2 of the girls also that was found in that missing. Remember the girls that was missing, them 2 as well. They are the daughters of Samuel Schaefer, a boy who the popo said was grooming the Coltharp sisters to marry him. Remember, Samuel is number 2 man. He's the leader, right hand man and friend. Okay, so they was grooming them to be married. Can you believe it? Unlike the other 2 girls, neither of the Schaefer sisters had been reported missing, but they were missing. The mom just didn't know that at the time. Now, this is what they put those kids in. You see, these are barrels. See there? And they had these barrels all over the place. This is out in the desert where it's freezing cold, nothing around them. And they've been there all day, not just all day, for days. And you see what they were sleeping on? This is what they had to sleep on and wrap up in. and the kids was freezing. One of the kids had to be care flighted to a bigger hospital because that child was in severe stress, danger, health wise. The girls was being kept in these barrels, hidden by them crazy folks, the cult leader, along with their own two, along with his own two daughters. So the cult leader also had other girls, the other girls up in here, but they also had his too, hiding out in the freezing cold. And he was hiding them because he said there's going to be a doomsday day. They're waiting for doomsday. What I say, a doomsday day. But don't make no sense, guys. I can't say what I really want to say. Robbing these kids of their innocence. I know, Sheila. I know how you feel. But look what, and you see the kids' shoes and stuff. Half of them, when the popos found them, they didn't have shoes on, no jackets. Some didn't have no clothes on. And you got to remember, during that time they was out here, the man that was hiding them, he did S them. Yes, he did SA them. He did have his fun time with them. But they had no food and no water. So how you going to be, ooh, Lord, somebody help me. Here's one of the kids being found. You see these blue containers? That some of them even look like big trash cans, don't they? That's one of the kids. See what that child got on? A little dress with the legs out. This is the dog figure over to your left. That's the popo. And that's one of the kids that came out. Now, it was one or two kids that had to be coached out. They had to sit there and talk to this child, form a bond with this child to get this child to come out. That's how afraid and scared that child was able to come out, because they was told, don't leave there, don't come out of there. So that child refused to get up and leave. You see that? Look down at that child's legs. See what that child, and see, you see that? And if you notice, see the little holes on the side of the thing so they can breathe? This is where the other two girls was found. If you can see the writing, this is where the other, and this is actual body cam footage. I do want you all to know all these pictures are actual body cam footage when they found the kids. And these are footages that was showed in court. And you can see another footage. And he's hollering out to him that Sam's gone. Actual footage. You see one of the kids. You see, look around there. You see there's nothing around this kid. Nothing. Nothing. And this is one of the four girls who was being held on the compound, on the compound in Utah. But this is when the officer rescued her. See, she have no socks and no shoes on. He was trying to just get her out of there and get her into the warm car, the popo car, so he can turn the heater up and let her get back there and get warm. And Sheila said, I can't believe why nobody have went to the authorities. I can't believe that no one person said a thing and let this get out of hand. No, they didn't. Thank you, Greta Lee. 14 watching. Get the likes to match. Okay, guys, I need you all to hit the like button coming in. Please hit my like button coming in. It's very important to me. Okay. I said what I said. Oh, Lord, my foot is tingling. Oh, God. You know how you, oh, I was sitting on my feet. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. I can't stand that feeling. Oh, my God. Let me stand up and let it go away. Oh, Lord. Let me stand up. Okay. Let me see. It says, I think they should I think they should ban cults, period. Everyone knows what goes on in these compounds. That is true. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. I agree. I said what I said. Everybody knows. And I agree too. I third person agree. Okay. But you see, it's freezing cold. And even the officers saying how cold it is tonight. And they trying to pull these kids out and they have no shoes on. And they're in a cold barrel. You see that? With no cover, no nothing. But what is that? Cardboard or a rug or something? Piece of rug or something? Them kids was freezing. That's why one of them was so cold and freezing so bad, they had to care flight that child to a bigger hospital for help. Now, this place here, if you can see, a lot of the windows are out. There's nothing up to the windows. It looked like an abandoned old trailer, right? Shack of a trailer, right? Which it is. And it got tumbleweeds all the way around. You see them big tumbleweeds all the way around it? You can tell nobody really go up in there, right? But anyway, two of the girls was found in this empty trailer on the compound, like the one shown above, which in that one right there is empty. We can tell it's empty. Don't look like nobody lived there. But two of the girls was found in there, back up in the back of it. They wasn't found up in the middle part. They're like back in the back up in here. Okay. And when they was found there, it was one of those girls that was in this trailer that had to be flown out, if I can remember. It was one of the girls that's in this trailer that had to be flown out for emergency services because she was so bad off. When they found all these kids, even the ones in the desert, they were so malnourished. They needed water. They needed food. And when they gave those kids water in the Popo's cars, when they was finding them, they was drinking water like they never had water in their life. And then the same thing happened to the ones in the trailer. Matter of fact, the ones in the trailer were so afraid to even come to the Popo when they was calling or trying to get them to coast them to come on, go with them. I know these parents knew the kids was missing. Should have stayed on the authorities like flies. Yeah. They knew because they knew. Think about it. They knew what the fathers do. They knew what the fathers do. How can they say they're following God, living like this? I don't know. That's just their lies, so they can be pedophiles, be peas. Hi, Cheryl Avis, 45. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in the Pink House. So one of the girls that was in this house had to be flown out. So on that note, let me just say this. Make sure y'all hit the like button and you can subscribe if you haven't subscribed. But now what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and drop this down so we can show some more footage. And then I'm going to drop my link as well. I'm going to drop my link. Let me get this out of the way. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get that. Okay. So I'm going to just show a little bit of this, just a little bit. Now, remember I said this is from a content creator called explore with us. Okay. Now, if you want to see all of it, you will have to go over to that content creator. I'm not going to show it all, but then I do want to show the part where the authorities was questioning them. And I'm going to pull that up on the news site, on the Popo site. Let me see. The mother and grandparents knew the mother lost custody, but contacted the Popo when he was missing. Oh, sure did. You're right about that, Cheryl. You're right about that. Thank you. Now, let me ask you, Cheryl, do you you must have seen this story before? Because I started doing this story last night was the first time I reported on it. And if you've seen this story before, I heard this story before. Also, guys, don't forget, I'm going to drop my link down too, okay? Because tonight I will be doing a second comment live, but it's on Love and Marriage Huntsville, those criminals. Let me see which one of these. I just dropped my link, guys. Let me see which one of these criminals. That's what we'll be doing it on. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay. So if anybody want to come up, and thank you, Cheryl, for the Avis. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. Let me just get it pulled up right quick. Oh, oh gosh. Okay. And y'all let me know whether you can hear it or not.
So wait, they're in a like a red box or in a blue bucket like you two?
In a red box.
Did they call them their wives? He goes, yeah, he called them their wives and they kissed them.
Anybody that left would be killed.
I'll take it up in the helicopter and throw it out. We're just dangling until he tells us where the hell they are.
Did you get the 4 kids that were in a barrel?
I don't have Johnson.
No more little girls out here.
No.
When Utah police were contacted by a concerned mother and informed that her ex-husband wasn't giving her their kids, even though she had custody of them, they thought this would be a routine domestic dispute. Little did they know that they were stepping into a twisted world of lies, unimaginable violence.
Hi, Sheila. Thank you for coming up. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and play a little more of this, but thank you for coming up. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Greta Lee said O.J. Simpson passed away of cancer at 76. Oh, just FYI. Yes. Thank you, Greta Lee. I know that, and I was going to do a little short, a short on it when I get time today. Thank you, Greta Lee. For anybody that didn't know, he was in a hospice. He was in hospice when he passed away. And I don't think nobody, I did not know he had the C word. Yeah. Yeah. It is tragic. It is. But I'm going to go ahead and finish playing this for Sheila, okay? And everybody in the chat. Let me take this down.
And doomsday cults that would lead to one of the most disturbing cases they had ever encountered. In September of 2017, Clark Christensen, the police chief of Spring City, Utah, was approached by Micah Coltharp and asked to do a wellness check at her in-laws' home. She explained that she was separated from her husband, John Coltharp, and that he and their 4 children currently all lived with John's parents, Keith and Catherine. Micah had tried to call John about seeing the kids.
Now, let me just say something, guys. You see the grandparents? The grandparents, to those kids, they let this happen too.
His wife looked like a kid herself.
Huh?
His wife looked like a kid herself.
Don't she look like a kid? She looks like a kid. He probably did marry her as a child. But he did this to his mom and dad that's below him. He got a sister. He did this to his sister too. Mom and dad didn't say anything. Okay,
He
they
probably
just let
been
it
doing
happen, and then just followed him on to his church, right? And knew what he was doing again. But they only speaks up. It only speaks up when
They affected.
right when they're getting ready launch an investigation toward them now. Why did they not speak up? Why did they let this happen and everything? So now they're getting ready to go down. But then they talking about to their son, he should, here go father, he should stay in prison for the rest of his life. He don't need to ever get out. But you didn't say that when he was doing that to your own daughter, his own sister, and you knew what was happening. And when you decide to follow him to this church and be part of this church, let me just see what Cheryl just said. Pinkie, I participated in the fast. This time I called in at noon. We talked the last time. Yes, I saw the film on it a few months ago. Thank you, Sheila. I mean, Cheryl. Thank you so much. All right. You said I'll call. Okay, you called in at noon. Okay, yeah, you did have to call in. All right. Let me go ahead and play a little more.
But his phone, his parents' phones, and the home phone had all been disconnected. Chief Christensen went over to the house to see if everything was okay. And as far as he could tell, it looked like the family had just set off for a vacation without telling anyone. Micah was insistent that something was wrong. The following never-before-seen footage has been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed attorney, a licensed clinical psychologist, a former licensed professional counselor, and a licensed professional counselor, hoping to get some background on John, the seeming mastermind behind everything. Detectives decided to talk to Micah and her mother.
I met John right after I turned 16. He was 21, and we liked each
Okay,
other.
guys, I want y'all to hear this. She said she met John right after she turned 16. And he was what, 41? She said? Wait, say that again, Sheila.
No, I was just agreeing with what you were saying. I'm looking at it.
That is crazy. Let me go back on that. She said she met John when she was 16, just turned 16, and I think he was 41. Ooh, my Lord.
Yeah,
He would allow us to meet in secret and lie to them, and they didn't care that I was underage or anything like that. When I met John,
She said they didn't care that she was underage or anything. They didn't care. Of course, they don't care. When I met John, I was going through a lot of stuff and very depressed. That's why he got you.
was going through a lot of stuff and very depressed and looking for answers. And I was taking like religion classes in high school and stuff. And when he came home from his mission, it's like he had all the answers. Everywhere I went to, everyone was like, "Oh, this is what we believe," and he was like, "No, this is answer," and like had proof and evidence, and it was answers for why the horrible things in my life were happening. And it was to the point where, for the first time in a long time, I actually felt comforted and felt right and felt like things were going to be okay. So he lures you in with these promises of grandeur and happiness and reason for things. And then once you are in, it's like, now if you don't follow everything I say, these are the horrible, awful consequences.
Let me bring, I said what I said. Thank you so much for coming up. Can you hear me?
I can, but something going on. Let me come back because it's talking about uploading recordings and all of that, and I don't want to record anything. So I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Greta Lee's 62 minutes into the chat. Thank you, Greta Lee. Okay, let me get back to where I just was at. Okay. And I know you two and change things over. So when even I start setting up my thumbnail and stuff, it brings up a whole new thing like recording and this and that. and it throws me off because that just started happening yesterday.
I
Why,
got it yesterday.
why did the mom let her marry a 41-year-old and she was only 16? That I can't understand. I can't understand. You're right. Why? Sheila, you even said she looked young. She do. She looks young.
She looked like a teenager too.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, I tell you, the things these parents let their kids do. This is why I'm bringing this out to light. You're in, I said. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It
Okay.
must be, yeah, it must be something that you have going on with StreamYard.
Right. No, it's
Yeah.
something new that StreamYard has added. It started yesterday with me.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
How
going
you
on with
doing?
everybody. They updated their platform when you're coming in. Even when I make thumbnails, it brings up 3 options. Instead, it was 1. Now it's got 3 options. And it's like, now, which one do I push?
You're right, that part.
Yeah. Someone just asked why you was trying to come up. Why did her mom let her marry a 41-year-old when she was only, and she had just turned 16?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knew how to prey on. He knows how to prey on people. That's what they're good at.
I would have
Mm-hmm.
went out there. I
You
would have
know,
went to the house and got gangster and got my kid out of there and bopped him side of the head, then called the police.
Right.
and the government conspiracy is like, if we get, taken by police, our kids are going to be murdered and put in the system, and kind of like every single day of my life. That's all he would talk about. That's all he would research. He would have people over, all these different kinds of people talking about like earthquakes and different calamities, solar flares, planetary alignments, and all the reasons for why the world ends.
Given John's strange obsession and her growing concern for her children, Micah worked with one of her husband John's siblings, Heather, to get a spare key to the house. Chief Christensen entered the house with Micah, and they immediately knew that this was more than just a family taking a spontaneous vacation. Something truly terrible was going on.
An accountant deposited money at Frost Bank.
Let me bring that down until that's over. I'll let y'all talk while they do that.
How you doing? I said what I said.
Tell you
I'm
what,
doing
I'm gonna.
fine. How you doing today, Cheryl?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. I'm glad I got off of work early.
I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and before I show you any more of this, that you just go ahead and express how y'all feeling about this, because this is wild. And this is a real case. This is real. I think Greta Lee, somebody in the very beginning asked me, is this real? Let me see. And I said, yes, this is real. Let me see. Who said, oh, here it is, right here. It said, is this real? A man married a 4-year-old and he's in jail? Yeah, it's real.
I never heard a man doing things like that, but I'm glad you're bringing this stuff to light because I do know things like this do exist, especially now in this day and time. That veil has been lifted, so we get to see a lot of stuff that people try to hide, and now is nakedly exposed.
Yes. Thank you, Sheila. It is true. And that's the same thing with Love and Marriage Huntsville. People didn't know that they had narcissists and crazy. They thought that the husband or the fiance or boyfriend was just crazy. And the veil got lifted off. And we saw, and most women didn't know what a narcissist was. But now we know. They got a name to it.
Well, Utah is notorious for this kind of crap because of the religion that they practice, the Mormon religion.
Right.
And for some reason, they got a warped sense of awareness about who they should marry and why they should be marrying them. And a lot of times we don't understand why these women let this kind of stuff go on, but it's in their religion. And they hide behind they hide behind religion so that they can, commit all these type of crimes against women and kids, because the women have to bow down to them too.
Yeah.
And they're going by the biblical, whatever the Mormon religion is. They're going by a man should be able to marry whoever, whatever, and whatever it is that they practice, and they know it's wrong. And to me, in my opinion, it's all a bunch of BS. It's just a way for them to hide behind religion so that they can commit crimes against women and children. And a lot of
That
times these women are born into this mess because their parents were in it and they just stay in it. And that's how a lot of times they'll allow this kind of stuff to go on, especially with their children.
that is true.
Mhm.
You're exactly right about that. Both of you all are. I just don't. Ooh, it's like a
You
woman.
know, when we was in school, right?
Yeah.
These girls, young girls that we went to school with, they used
Hmm.
to date older gentlemen. And I used to be like, ew, what is she dating that old man for? And because the man had a car, um, he had a little money, and I'd be like, why are y'all dating me? And we're not even old enough to be dating and stuff. But he does this for me and things like that. And then you seeing these guys with these cars driving up to the schools and stuff. They had predatory behavior back then. But I was smart enough to know that, I didn't even think about boys or anything like that, or let alone grown men. That was out of
Right.
that wasn't even in my thoughts at that time. And I didn't understand why, like, my uncles or my father say you get in the house, say it's grown men talking out here. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Right.
But then they'll come in the house and they'll talk to us about certain things. But
Right.
these girls, they used to go for stuff like that, thinking these guys gonna, take care of them, buy them this and buy them that. And then later on, you find yourself in a situation you can't get out of. And
Mm,
I know one girl in particular, she married one of our school teachers. And she
mm,
was only 15. She was only 15 and she was dating that grown man. His name was
Ooh,
Mr.
Lord.
Edwards. Yeah, and I said, "Oh my goodness, she dating this old man," and she ended up marrying him and having children. But he got killed in a car accident.
Ooh, my Lord.
I said, "Yeah, these men been doing stuff like that. Um,
Thirdly,
like they've been doing it for years." And then I had a grown man. I was with my sister at one time, and I was, the little sister out of everybody. She was like.
hmm,
And the guy approached me and he wanted to talk to me. I said, first of all, I'm a kid. Get out of my face. I said, my sister's in them your age. And my
hmm,
grandmother and them taught us to be very vocal and speak up. If
right.
we feel frightened about something, we could come back and tell them. But a lot of
Right.
kids don't have that. That's why
No,
you
they.
gotta leave an open door policy when you have children and give them, safety measures, and have that stuff
Hmm.
implemented so when they go out here, they know how to protect themselves. But I've been taking care of my kids. I'm walking them to the school, picking them up. I made sure they was in my sight.
You know what? You're like me. You ain't getting out of my
And
sight.
I'm very
Uh-uh.
protective. Mm.
well,
I'm
well,
like that
Sheila,
bear in the woods, that mama bear.
well,
Huh?
this kind of stuff been going on for years.
I
And
know.
it, if you look at The Color Purple, how Mr. Married
Mm-hmm.
see me. And I know it's
Yeah,
just
I
a
remember.
movie. I know it's just a
Mm-hmm.
movie, but that's what went on back in the day.
Yeah.
Probably your grandparents. You're not trying to talk about anybody, but I just know back in the day in the 20s and 30s, that's what men did.
Mm-hmm.
They and it was prevalent and it was okay for everybody to do it. Look at Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis. These are just some of the stars
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Right.
And they married little kids, and it was so it was kind of acceptable back in the day because men wanted kids, and
Right.
and so we kind of got away from it, but Utah took it to another level because of
Yeah, they
they
been
started
doing it
using
over
their
here.
religion. Yeah, because you see that stuff kind of faded out in the 50s and 60s, where
Mhm.
it was frowned upon if you had somebody that was too young for you, or if you preyed on kids or whatever, and it still went on, and it just don't go on today. But it's been going on for a long time, and since it wasn't popular, we only had one state, which is Utah, that still allowed that type of crap to go on. And then so since they allow it to go on, you know, they hide behind religion. You remember that Jeff Warren guy? He was here in Texas in Waco trying to do that crap.
To do
And
that same crap.
yeah, and Texas had to shut him down, you know, because we're not playing that. And so Utah is like one of the only states that still kind of allow this kind of stuff to go on. And I don't know why. I'm not saying ban the religion of Mormonism. What is it called? Mormon?
Mormon.
Yeah,
Mormon.
I'm not saying to ban the religion, but you definitely need to be banning these compounds. It ought to be against the law, you know, just like Texas do. If you have a house in Texas, you can't put a trailer house in your backyard because that's first of all, they missing out on money for taxes. So Texas is regulated where you can't just have two properties, you know, two houses on one property unless you separate them and you know, separate it for tax purposes and say this is a address and that's an address. Because back in the day, and the reason why I know this because I was in telecommunications, a lot of people used to have a house and then they'll have their kids or their family on a trailer, you know, on their land, and they was only paying taxes for one place, and they was using the address for both places. And Texas made a law where you couldn't do that, so that they can collect taxes from everybody. And that's the same thing that Utah need to do, and they can shut down some of this stuff. They go to Utah because they can hide behind the laws, and everybody knows what goes on.
The popos are controlled by the Mormons.
That part. But I used to watch this movie. I used to watch this movie called Escaping Polygamy, and it was this girl that was she was raised on one of those compounds, and she was trying to rescue people that wanted to get out, and some of them made it out, and some of them didn't.
Right. I watched that same show. It came on every week, and I loved it.
I did too.
I was always so happy when people get out.
You know, I was visiting my mother down in North Carolina, right? And I discovered some things too. My son and I, we drove down and we ended up on an old plantation. And I didn't know it. And, you know, because he got lost trying to find shortcuts. I said, no, boy, we're going to go 64 west and hit 95 going southbound, right? So he turned, he said, no, Mom, I got a shortcut. Instead of going the way I told him, we ended up on that plantation field. And in that field, and all the old plantation homes where they used to keep slaves was still there. And then I saw this man with, it was like, you know how the plantation owner, the master, he owns this big house with this roundabout porch. And then when you go through there, it was blocked where you couldn't get through, and the bridge, it comes up through the water, and they have to operate that bridge in order for you to cross the water. I said, boy, if you don't get out of here, and I said, my mother ain't gonna never find out where we at because they be done lynched us on the tree. I got real scared and got out of there. And then we found another spot where the Mormons, my cousin took me there, and I thought she was playing. She was like, yeah, we got Mormons down here. She said they live in buses. I said, quit lying. I went down there. They had buses that they had made into homes. It was nothing but Mormons out there, and the little kids and stuff. And it was like inside of a compound as well. And I thought she was playing. I said, I want to see this. She took me there, and I could not believe it. And she said, some of them be sitting up there marrying little kids. And I said, y'all ain't saying nothing. She was like, it ain't my business.
Well, South Carolina have the same thing, Sheila. They have those. Yeah, they have a whole district where the slaves used to be in the slave masters' houses, but they've kind of made it like a historical area. They've
That's
deemed it
good.
as historic. My daughter lives in South Carolina, so she took me over there, and I was like, I don't want to see this crap. And she was like,
Mhm.
no, mom, she's like, you can really learn a lot. You like history, and you could just, let's go and look and see. And, it's a special kind of energy there. And I just didn't feel right about it, but you're right. South Carolina is the same way. They still have those houses, and they still, it's like their history at this point, and they idolize it. But if we look at
Right.
Sister Wives is a perfect example
Mm-hmm.
of
Yes.
Yes.
this Mormon religion with
Yeah.
what's the dude name? I can't believe it.
Cody. Cody.
Cody. Yeah. Cody lost all his wives, but he's a perfect example of what the Mormon religion really is. The only difference is Cody just don't mess with his children. He just have children
Right.
by different wives,
Right.
and I guess his practice is really supposed to be um
The
the
new
practical
age.
religion for everybody to follow that's doing it the correct
And
way
they
instead of
popularized
doing things.
they have popularized this stuff because even when you look down in Atlanta, you see where the guys they come on TV and now they want to get 2 and 3 and 4 wives. The Muslims
Mhm.
been doing. I had a
Right.
Muslim, I had a Muslim guy. He was supposed to bring the Holy Quran to my cousin, and my mom let my cousin come up to New York in the summertime. And she's naive about a lot of stuff. And
Mhm.
the man that brought the Quran to me to give to her, he tried to attack me. Wrong move. Cause when I turned around, got through bopping him side his head with that broom,
Mhm.
he hit them stairs. And then I called my brother because my brother was in the back. And I was screaming for my brother to come out there. They are something else, some of these people, and they crap.
Right. Now, I'm
Hmm.
going to go ahead and get back to the let us finish seeing what was going on. Okay. Great
Hmm.
talking points, everybody. Let me just see. This is when they step into the house and it has been completely ramshacked. Okay.
Sacked. All of the furniture, ranging from mattresses to couches, had been taken, and even the photos were missing off the walls. Oddly, the electronics, including TVs and computers, had been left discarded in the house. Chief Christensen talked with John's sister Heather to determine if she had any idea what could have happened to John, Keith, Catherine, and the kids. Not only was she just as surprised as they were, but she had even more shocking information to share with them. The grandparents had banned all of their other children and grandchildren from visiting after John had moved back in. Worried that the children might be in danger, Chief Christensen began asking around the neighborhood to see if anyone knew why the Coltharps had left. According to one of Keith's friends, the family had been seen packing everything into a U-Haul the previous day, and Keith himself had said that they were moving to Cedar City because something bad was happening. Micah's mother further elaborated how tumultuous Micah's life had been ever since she met John.
I have not liked him from the day I met him, and he knows it because he's got such a freaking cocky attitude that he comes to get what he wants out of it. His social skills lack in a big way, and he offends me at every turn. But my daughter, on the other hand, was under mind control, and she was married when she was 19. She was baptized when she was 18, and he performed the baptism. It was a shock to us. We chose not to disown her, but to accept her and her choices and see how far it went. And we forbid political conversation and religious conversation in our home. But one day they walked in and they were both in full-length black coats, black clothes, black overalls. She was pregnant. And they walked in and John started talking about black helicopters, mercenaries taking over and shooting everybody, all this wacko stuff and creating all this stuff in his head. And we were just like, oh my God. And then he said he'd lost his job. He couldn't make enough money to support a family. And they informed us they were moving here. And I couldn't say anything about it. She was 19 years old. We came out here and I even drove out with them. They packed a giant U-Haul and I drove his car and he drove us into an apartment he rented over the internet. And we pulled into this low-class unkept neighborhood into an apartment that had been occupied by college students who had spilled beer and peed all over the floor, never been cleaned. And John walked in, and Micah was a few months pregnant, sick as a dog, and he looked at her and he's like, better start cleaning. I was angry, and I knew what I was in for right then and there. She wouldn't listen to me until a couple years ago. She just got a driver's license 2 years ago. That's how much he's kept her back. She barely finished high school. He talked her into giving up her college education and her graduate school. And everything she's ever attempted to do, he's shamed her out of or done something to take her, away from public eye. Doesn't allow his children in public. He doesn't want them getting people's germs. He doesn't want them getting people's opinions.
This is troubling, but not particularly surprising.
Recordings just got better.
Okay, guys. Whew, that was a lot to unpack, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they do. They keep you, they try to keep you away from the society so you don't know the norms, and they keep the people uneducated so they can keep control over them.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
But remember, Cody and them, Pinkie, remember on Sister Wives, remember Cody and them was finna get, I think somebody had told it on them. Remember, they had to flee their homes.
Right.
And they had to Las Vegas.
Utah, they packed up so quick, and they just was throwing stuff in there, getting out of there.
Well, Las Vegas kind of allow this kind of stuff too, so that's where they moved to. They try to move to places that allow their religion so that they can continue doing what they're doing in peace.
Right. They first moved to Arizona, then left Arizona after buying beautiful homes, living the best life that they ever lived, and then moved to Flagstaff. And then when they moved to Flagstaff, that's when everything fell apart. That's when the wives started opening up their eyes and realizing it was Christine first. And then it was the next one, the heavy one. What's her name? It was her.
Mary.
Not Mary. Mary was the one that's still hanging on.
I can't think of her name. Janelle. Janelle is her name.
Then when
Y'all
Janelle,
even got the name down pat.
Mary's finally opened up his eyes. Now he only got one wife left.
The one he was crazy about, Robin.
Right. Talking about that's the only woman that he ever loved.
Well, he started acting different when Robin came along, though. But he started changing when Robin came along. Robin came along and messed up the whole dynamic because he was infatuated with her.
Right.
The rest of them he was using for money. And Janelle was the brains and the money of the group. So,
Janelle worked. She had the brains, the money, the good job, and everything.
And Christine used to be his favorite until Robin came along.
Right.
Because Christine was the youngest one after, before Robin came along. And that's when he stopped messing with Christine.
And that would do all the babysitting. Babysit all the kids. Keep the kids while the rest of them work. And then Mary would work too.
Did he work anywhere?
Huh?
Did he work anywhere?
Not that I know.
Not particularly.
I mean, because I seen it, but I seen like the previews of it, but it never piqued my interest. I said, I'm not looking at that. You know what I'm saying?
I love watching it. Once you got it, I watched it from the very beginning. So that's why it was good to me. And I did a video on it. I did a video on it once. And I said I was I did a video after he lost all his wives but one. So that was
to be honest with you, sometimes I feel like that I'm living inside of a some type of reality show myself, because you see so much out here nowadays.
Yeah, you're right.
I always do, I always kind of work like in the city areas, but I live like in the suburbs, because I never wanted my kids to be in like out in the open in the city. You know what I'm saying? Because that way Yeah, so you get away from all that noise and everything, and then it's quiet down time, and you get to talk to your kids and see how they day went. And
Rashida,
they tell
I'm gonna tell
you,
you.
huh?
I'm gonna tell you what's going on. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's the internet.
But,
All this stuff has always been going on, but now it's out in the forefront, and there you can see everything now.
right. I agree. And see, a lot of parents, they say, well, they give kids the devices and they're not monitoring them. Because I'm seeing kids nowadays, they got tablets, they got phones, they have all type of computers and everything. Even with my son, he's in high school now, but he had the computer ever since he was in the kindergarten, because they
Hmm.
do everything now on the computer and stuff. So I had to teach him how to write and do stuff because they're not using it. They're getting away from paper. So what's going to happen if the whole system shut down? Your child don't know how to write, can't read, or none of this stuff. So you got to take
That
time
is
out
true.
and show them the very basic. By the time they go to kindergarten, they should be knowing their numbers, alphabets, basic math. And that's what I did for my kids. You know what I'm saying? So that they don't go in there and they say, oh, we got to put them in a class behind or give them an IEP or anything like that. So it's important. And that's what Coleslaw should have been doing. She should be doing that now with little Miles Morales.
Hmm.
If she's at
Right.
home, she ain't got a job. So invest into your child. You know what I'm saying? Because Martell long gone.
Yeah. And
So to
if he
speak.
is there, he don't care nothing about that kid. Because that kid can't give
No.
him no money.
Yeah, but she did say it's a revenge baby, and out of revenge,
Yeah,
that
she
means that
did
was
say
out
it's
of
a
spite.
revenge baby. So why would she
Yeah,
care?
so she had him out of spite. So, and if you had him out of spite, that means that you had no love for that child from the beginning,
Mm-mm.
you
Hmm.
know. So, I
That
mean,
part.
it's a lot of stuff going on now. So we just have to be careful about, even with elderly people, they don't even want to protect them. I see
Mm-mm.
how some of these young kids get out here and they so disrespectful, talking about movie and stuff like that, and I'm like,
Right.
don't you have a mother? Don't you have a mother at home, a grandmother? Why would you want to talk to somebody else's grandmother? Or you gotta view it the same thing as your mom and
Right.
your grandparents. We just see a whole lot of stuff that's going. But see what I did with my kids, I took the devices. Look, if I pay the bill, I'm in charge.
Right.
Simple as that. So my sons, they didn't get phones till they were like 15. I said, look, I don't care what the next person got. We did
Mm.
around here is teaching moments. We have to have teaching
Right.
lessons before I give anybody. And I gave according to who I thought responsible, because like my mom said, every cat knows kittens.
Right.
So if I know my kittens, guess what? I know exactly what they like, what they dislike, what they'll do, and what they won't do. Because sometimes you could tell me something about one of them, and it sounds just like them. And I said, "Well, you did it," and they were like, "No, I didn't do it." I said, "Yes, you did." I said, "Because if you're doing it around here, and I got to correct you, you doing it out there. What your teacher said is correct. So you
Right.
can't always be that parent either that say, okay, well, my child tell the truth. My child, we're imperfect beings. Kids don't always tell the truth.
Right.
So
That
you
part.
have to sit there and be able to correct that until they get it.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
understand.
I ain't mean to get
I'm
off
gonna
the topic, and I just
Oh,
wanted to
that's
say
okay.
that.
I'm going to go ahead and pick up a little bit with the recording, and you're going to see the book that he and changed it to his own Bible.
Mm.
That's John,
Mm,
which
That
is the
part.
cult leader. Oh, wait,
now
I'm
you're a prophet.
playing it. Wait, here it is.
Beliefs for a fundamentalist cult named the Knights of the Crystal Blade. The cult not only took beliefs from the Mormon religion, but also simultaneously believed in Norse gods and Roman gods. While the cult did take beliefs from several religions, it's important to remember that they weren't formally associated with or accepted by any of these religions. With further reading into the binder, authorities learned that John and Sam were not only a part of this cult, but they had actually started it. According to the binder, Sam was a seer for the cult, with many of his strange so-called revelations listed for authorities to read. John was the group's leader, and according to the cult's rules, he was to be worshipped like a god.
Nickelodeon was kid everything, but
So he had to be worshipped like a god.
So that's why they got them young kids, because kids' minds are like a sponge. They absorb things quickly. And with that, with that writing his own Bible, and then I'm saying that, they created. So their gods are created. So anybody with, that have any knowledge about God, that God have always existed. Where these gods, they're worshiping, this stuff is out of human creation. So there's a difference. And I don't understand why adult people going to that church can't get it. So this has to be generations upon generations doing stuff like this.
Right. Okay. Here it goes.
The details of what that meant wouldn't be revealed until later. Discovering John and Sam's involvement in cult activity was highly concerning to authorities, and an Amber Alert was put out for the 4 missing girls. While one team stayed on the ground, desperately trying to find them, another set of detectives decided to talk to Micah and her mother, as well as John's parents, hoping to get some background on John, the seeming mastermind behind everything. Through these interviews, the investigators soon discovered that all this talk about the coming apocalypse was a chilling cover for something far more horrifying than anything they could have imagined.
So how did John get custody of the children, or how did he get physical possession of the children, and when was that?
So we lived in an apartment that had an upstairs and a downstairs, and how we broke it down was he lived upstairs, I lived downstairs, and, the kids, go freely between the two, and he worked during the day and I worked at night. So the second he got home from work, I left. So there was always someone there with the kids, and we decided, okay, we'll just co-parent. And I wanted a divorce. He said, no, we have to wait. Let's wait till, at least the new year, and then we can have a whole, fiscal year, and then it won't be all messed up on taxes. And I was like, all right, fine, because I couldn't afford it anyway. I didn't have a dime in my name. We were in $40,000 of debt, the majority of which was spent on survival gear, anything he wanted for his computers.
What year was that?
This year.
Okay. This year? And where were you living? Where's your apartment?
Provo.
Provo? Yeah.
So.
Is that where you live now? Same apartment or different?
Different apartment.
Okay.
The reason I don't live there anymore is because end of May, he came to me and told me that he was fired and that his company was going out of business. After he went missing, I talked to his boss and he goes, oh, no, he quit. We begged him to stay. He said he had a family emergency. So he came to me and he goes, I've lost my job. We can't afford the apartment anymore without my income. I have decided I no longer want to be a member of this society. I am no longer working. I'm going to live off my parents' Social Security. So I've already called the landlord. We have to be out in a couple weeks. I'm taking the...
Did y'all hear that?
I heard
He's going to live off his parents' Social Security. He quit his job. He didn't get fired. He quit his job.
But see, that's how Texas caught them up, though. They get caught up because of taxes and government benefits. That's how Warren Jeff got caught up, because, they were, they get caught up. They want those kids so that they can get benefits from them. And most of them do live off the government.
They get benefits, food stamps, and everything.
Right.
And then you know what they do? They purchase homes too. And they get the kids, once the kids get married and they go under the Section 8 guidelines, they get them to pay the house off through Section 8.
Oh, my Lord.
I know.
So that's how his mom and daddy get caught up in this.
It's pimping through the religion is what it's called.
Pimping through the religion.
Yeah, all of them have to be the master. All of them you have to bow down to the master. Their God instead of the real God. And at the end of the day, all of them just take bits and pieces of the Bible and form their own religion. Because if you look in the Bible, Solomon had over 700 wives. So a lot of people do this in all religions, in my opinion. They pick and choose what they want to out the Bible, and they teach that, and that's what they go with. They don't go with the whole story. They go with the parts that they like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be from Genesis to Revelation. You got to read the entire Bible, which you can't. It's you can't read all of it in one day, of course, because you have to meditate and be able to
Right.
understand the scriptures more or less than just exactly just taking what you want out of it. No, it goes hand in hand. All of it goes together. There's no separation. So what happens is that's why things are starting to be colluded and corrupt, because people have taken portions of it that they want to benefit themselves. And it's
But
for
if
their
the
own
state had
self
laws,
glory.
if those states had laws to like in Texas, your kids supposed to be in school. Every state your kids supposed to be in school. So how you gonna be getting benefits for kids that's not in school? And so if they change the laws, then a lot of this stuff will stop. But Mitt Romney, he was a senator, right? But he was still a Mormon. And so he feel like the way that he practiced his Mormon religion is the correct way. So I'm pretty sure Utah has a lot of Mormons that's in office, and that's why they get to run their state the way they want to, and that's why they're allowed to get away with a lot of this stuff in a lot of those states. Yeah, because they can avoid the law and live under the radar.
And then kids get abused on their watch. Oh my Lord. Well, let me play this other part, guys. Oh my God. And then we'll be getting off. We got another 20 minutes. And okay.
Yeah, because I gotta get ready to get out of here too.
Okay. All right.
So we all got something to do. I gotta.
Okay. Here we go.
Kids to Stampede, and you're going to come with me. And I said, I don't have a job down there. There are no jobs. Someone has to take care of the kids. He goes, you don't need to worry about that. My parents are going to pay for it. We'll live off our food storage. I'm like, the kids need clothes. They need food that is nutritious. They need all these things. They have to have a future. We can't just give up everything. And he's like, well, then you're on your ass. I was working 65 hours a week. So I was working so much to make money and take food and clothes down there on the weekends, and that's the only time I got to see them. I was working at a place called Elevate Health Sciences, and he didn't care because the world was going to end.
So prior to that, did they go to any public schools?
No, he refused to let me do anything. I agreed with
So they've been homeschooled their entire life?
I agreed with homeschooling to a point because they were young, and I got to the point where John wouldn't allow the kids to socialize with any of the neighborhood kids or even with the cousins, because he was such a germaphobe. He didn't want anyone to get sick. And then I got to the point where I was like, all right, I've taught them as much as I can personally. I'm not a teacher. I've tried. This is very hard for me, and especially with kids 4 different ages. They need something more. I can't do this. They need something beyond what I can give them. And he refused to give them any sort of tutoring, schooling, whatever. He's like, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. None of them can read. None of them can do math. They're bright kids. And when I would try to talk to them about teaching, all I wanted to teach about was like religion.
It's hard to imagine that John's parents, or anyone for that matter, would be willing to let him move in and continue to treat his children this way. But as the detectives were about to discover, Keith and Catherine Coltharp had an interesting story of their own to tell.
I do have a question. Are we being charged with something tonight?
At this point, all my job is to do is get the facts. I don't know if there's anything. I would like to just speak with you and get this whole story. This is a mess. Keeping your right to mind.
Yeah, and my wife and I both were just really beside ourselves with all this because we thought we didn't know we were doing anything wrong either.
Right.
We don't think we've done anything wrong. In fact, we're just taking care of our grandkids.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's obvious that even though Keith is positive he hasn't done anything wrong, he's still nervous that he and his wife might be getting in trouble. Part of his anxiety might be due to the layout of the room. Keith is literally backed into a corner with his access to the door blocked, which may make him feel trapped, anxious, or defensive. The Reed technique, a popular method of interrogation in the U.S., recommends that investigators not be seated between the subject and the door to prevent false imprisonment claims. Otherwise, the room conditions appear to be consistent with a typical interrogation room, stark and minimal. There's no barrier for Keith to hide behind, such as a table, so the detective is able to observe all his movements. Just like her husband, Catherine is insistent that they haven't done anything wrong. However, further questioning will prove that this might not be the whole truth. After both parents have been read their Miranda rights, Detectives work with them to get a timeline on the family fleeing to the compound.
I guess for quite a while, myself and my husband had been, looking at the world events and everything, and we read the scriptures and saw the prophecies of the end times and everything, and John was always talking to us. I mean, he was always talking to us about that stuff, and so we were into it. It was interesting, and we believed that we're probably near the end of times, and we wonder how the Lord's going to gather his people to safety and all that. John started talking to us and telling us that he had received revelations that we are to gather out because things are going to start happening.
So in this process, it got to a point where Micah was demanding to pick up the kids and take them to her apartment in Provo with a guy that she was living in with there, and John wouldn't put up with that. He said, no, he says, we got to leave. So within 2 days, we had a U-Haul van, and we're loading everything up, taking stuff out of our house, and we were out of there.
The revelations he'd gotten on the end times, and we're supposed to get out of Babylon, and her wanting to take the kids, we said, okay, let's go. And we didn't think it was illegal to take the kids since he had them.
At the compound, officers continue to look for the missing children, but their endeavor
Are y'all still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Can y'all hear me? I'm sorry, I'm talking with my thing muted. This is when they start looking for the kids and everything. I'm going to do that one and another live video when they start looking for the kids, because it makes you anxious, because those kids are out there and it's freezing cold, and they've been out there for a couple of days, and they're in a frenzy going on trying to find these kids so they don't suffer unfailingly.
The grandparents should be charged for turning a blind eye. They should be arrested for turning a blind eye. I believe they knew.
When did all of this happen, Pinkie?
This started, they started the church, I think, in 2017, 2018, it was going on. And some of this stuff is still going on today because of the trials and stuff. And some people just making it to trial, and some people are getting additional things added to their sentence. Like John and his second man and his third man. They are already sentenced to 26 years to life, but John also going to get an addition 15 years for something else added to his 26 years allegedly. And so far I haven't seen anything. And the last I heard that the grandparents are they're doing an investigation, separate investigation on them, because they was compliant. They did everything, and they did not protect the kids. They knew what was going on, and they let it happen.
I believe the grandfather, I believe he was messing with a couple of them himself, the way he was visiting around there.
Yeah, women, a lot of women let these men just take them down a deviant road, and they just go along with it. And for the grandparents, and for the grandfather to be hiding them like that, I totally agree with you, Sheila. He had something to do. He was messing with them too, and that's why he's trying to protect them, because they want access to these kids, and it's just a modern day. It's just modern day deviant behavior. Yeah, trafficking. That's exactly what it is.
Child trafficking ring. And then the wife, she probably, if she spoke up, he probably slapped her and knocked her in the corner somewhere, and he done beat her so bad till she's scared to speak now.
And they keep people stupid. They keep them stupid. They keep them uneducated. They make sure that they don't go to school, and then they make them scared of society. They tell them that the people in society is evil, and they put all kind of stuff in your head. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're around that shit a long time, you know, it's like Stockholm
It
syndrome,
takes root.
you know,
Right.
Yeah, it takes
and you
root.
start
It
believing
takes
all of
root.
that shit because that's all you know.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Oh my God. You all are hitting
This,
everything right on the head. And Cheryl said, all the adults seems to have a lack of education, morals, and standards.
yeah.
Yeah. They keep him
Mm-hmm.
stupid. Remember, he married that girl as soon as she turned 16.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as she turned 16.
So she was a
And I
child
doubt
when
if
he
he
met
let
her.
her finish school.
Yeah. And he took advantage of it too because she said she was depressed when she was a teen kid. And
Right.
she probably was experiencing a lot of bullying, and he probably showed her um, some comfort and was kind to her. And he played on her weaknesses at that time. And
Yeah.
that's
And
how
she
he
did
was
say
able to
that,
grab
Sheila.
a hold of. Yeah,
She
that's how
said
he was able
exactly
to
what
grab
you're
a hold of.
saying.
Mm-hmm. Because she's
Mhm.
depressed. And what do you
Right.
have? You want somebody and somebody to show you a little interest, talking to you, probably giving you words of endearment, trying to build up your confidence
Mhm.
long enough for him to turn around and snatch this girl and then turn around and marry her. And now she gets to see the other side. So he done added to already the depression, the low self-esteem, the self because she probably didn't even find that she was worth anything. She probably felt worthless at some point. So it was all the different types of emotional things that she was going through. So he took advantage of it
And she
and played
still
it to
looks
his
young. I think he
benefit.
impregnated her
Mhm.
right away.
Right.
Right.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like pimping. It's like pimping. That's what pimps do. They
Right.
go around,
Hmm.
they prey on the weak. They find a
Mhm.
woman
Yeah.
that's weak, that's been through a lot of stuff, and they
Hmm.
be nice to them until they get them into their organization, and then they put them to work. And that's
Right.
the same
Yeah.
thing that this church is doing. This
Yeah.
guy is doing.
Hmm.
Not I won't even call it a no church. That's
Mm-mm.
exactly what these cult leaders do. They prey on the weak people, and a lot of times, a lot of these people are born into that. So
Yeah.
that's all that they know.
Hmm.
And that's what's
Yeah.
happening to these kids. That's why they keep
And
taking the
then
kids,
and he,
kidnapping the kids, because the kids
and
are
he was
easy
saying
to
that
influence.
he didn't even allow him to go to school talking about all the germs. It looked like it was more germs at the house than it was at the
Right.
school.
The house was a clutter mess.
Yeah, I would have,
Yeah.
but I guess, when you end up beating people down, browbeat them like that, they feel hopeless and they don't see the fight in them. So it
Right.
was easy for him to pray like that. But to have
Right.
kids like that, I mean, even if you taking kids out of other sectors of other communities, I just don't understand why nobody seen this at first. I said, well, my child and got on the cops because I remember my son and my little daughter, they was on the bus, and my son got up, and he was like 9 years old, and she was like 5. He got a, oh no, you better not move this bus. You don't want to see my mother. She gonna come there and turn it up. This bus ain't going nowhere until you
Mm.
get my little sister. And he raised Cain. And then when he got off the bus, I said, "Hold up, wait, Brianna." He said, "They talking about she on the next bus." Jumped in that car and I made a a quick 180. And I was down there and I was talking to them on the phone. I said, "I don't care what you say. You know they go together." I said, "They don't separate for nothing." And I said,
Right.
what you're gonna do is you're gonna find out, or I'm telling you, they're gonna have FBI, the CIA, and everybody coming out here to get me. And then
I
I
agree
looked up,
with you.
so she came, they was like, we got her, because of the snowstorm that was coming. I don't care what
Right.
kind of storm coming. You turn around, you send them two together.
That is
And
true.
but they said they wouldn't even, my son wouldn't even allow that bus driver to even go on with her roundabout where she had to go and drop the kids off. He said she couldn't
Hmm.
even move the bus because he was sitting up there fussing. You don't know my mama. So she be out here, she gonna shut it down and you ain't moving this bus till you go get my little sister.
Right.
Well, the key word is mama, and that's what you don't have no more.
Mhm.
Everybody want to be their
No.
kids' friends. They want to cater to these men. If their kids say that the men did something to them, they they don't want to believe their children. They believe they man. And it's anything for my man. And so you don't have parents anymore. You have people that's just having kids and not even raising them properly. Like I was talking about coleslaw, she don't have a clue about being a parent. She don't, even though she have 2 kids, she still don't have a clue about what parenting
Not
is.
a clue.
And apparently her mom must not be a great, allegedly, or in my opinion, her mom must not be a great grandmother, because how would you allow your daughter to go through all of this crap and you not say anything to her or try to help the situation? And I know sometimes you can't tell grown people what to do, but you definitely can intervene in certain ways. If you've been a parent to your kid, they may not listen to everything that you say, but they know right from wrong, and they know the basics. And a lot of these people don't even have basic training at all, as far as trying to raise kids or what have you. And so the grandma is still out there partying, so we don't have big mama no more. We don't really have mama no more. And so the kids are, the poor kids are just left to the wolves at this point.
That is true. Thank you all. We're coming up at 2 hours. We got 5 minutes, and we're not going to stay that long. But you know what? This is something I have been wanting to bring ears and eyes on for the longest, so people can recognize, people can see. And
it applies
right
today.
and and I see that each time I do it, a lot of people don't want to let me get rid of it. A lot of people don't want to hear it, but they're gonna have to hear it, because when I do my lives, I'm gonna keep it up and everything, because this needs to be told. This needs to be told because there's a lot of this is going on in people's houses, and they just don't want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They
They don't want nobody to talk about it.
A lot of people don't want to break up their happy home, Pink. They don't want to break up their happy home, and it's all about the Benjamins with everything. It's all about the Benjamins and how somebody taking care of them, or they feel like somebody got a quarter or whatever. So if they got an extra quarter that they can spend on you, then they feel like you should be able to take everything that they dish out, and that's what a lot of women do, because of they want that man, or they want that security.
This man was in one of the stores in my neighborhood, and I was walking to the store, and he was in there. He used to always hit on me. And he used to try to get my son to won't you tell your mother won't you tell your mother to let me get a number. He said, let me tell you something. You can try, but you will never get through that steel wall, right? And so I come back to the store, and he still asking me. I said, what I'm gonna do with you? I said, my man is rich. I said, he's wealthy. I said, and I'm sure you heard of him. And he turned me, he said, no, I ain't never seen that man. I ain't never seen you with no man. I said, let me tell you something. I said, he is such high prestige. I said, you can feel him in your surrounding. I said, when you look up, you see. And I said, he makes sure all my bills are paid. My car note is paid. My house bill is paid. All my rent. And he said, well, who is this man you talking about? I said, have you ever heard of the creator of this here universe? The sovereign Lord of the world? And he said, well, you talking about God? I said, you got it, buddy. I said, he fulfilled every need and every want that I ever want. Once I got rid of that husband, I said, that's who I've been married to. And check that. Yeah, so he was a little crazy. He never got it. He never got it a date. He never got my phone number. I kept it pushing. I'm not gonna break nothing that's not broken.
Don't
I'm
break
not
nothing
broken.
that's not broken.
I don't need nothing. Everything is in.
Right, Sheila. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Greta Lee said, I was at a bus stop and a man offered me $1,000 to get in the car with him, and I was only 16. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
they do.
Yep. And
Mhm.
another time I was on the way to work and a man accosted me in a car offering me money. Oh my Lord. Oh my
I
God.
had a
Thank you,
teacher.
Lord.
I had
Greta.
a teacher that used to always try to be extra nice to me, and I always wanted to
Mhm.
make sure, I always wanted to give me a ride home. I'm like, I don't need no ride home. Shit, I just live around the corner from
Right.
school, so I don't need you to take me home.
You don't need nobody to take you home.
Right. I don't need you to take me anywhere. But I was like Sheila, what
Mhm.
Sheila said. I didn't date anybody that didn't have a car or didn't have any money or whatever when I was, and that was in high
Right.
school. And so
Yeah.
we had guys that had cars and stuff in high school or whatever, but I was just always particularly, I was just
Right.
always particular who I dated and who I was around. And I did date older men, but they wasn't no
Damn.
more than 2 or 3 years. But I
Right.
always had a sense of awareness because I had a single mother that taught us everything, that taught us what
Yeah.
to do and what not to do and how to do it. And
Right.
so
And see,
that's what the problem is. Nobody is teaching their kids anything. They just letting them go to school and letting them be online, and the internet is really raising all of these kids.
That is
that's
true.
true.
And
But
they're
that's
not
what good.
learning
That's what
nothing.
you had good for yourself with you had a mother. See,
Right.
and a lot. I'm so sick of everybody saying, "Well, my father won't there. My father wasn't this." That's an excuse. You know what I'm saying? When you learn that you're valuable, that you're worthy, and you get those type of qualities
Mm.
instilled for you that you have to have standards. And
Right.
that comes from your home. It doesn't matter whether you get from a single parent. A lot of
Yeah.
us come from with, have single parents. But my father was active in my life, but he passed away when I was young. I was 18.
Right.
He didn't
Mhm.
get to see me as a woman, grow into a woman. But still, when you get those type of values instilled in you, you're able to get out here and make good decisions. Everything don't
Right.
always have to be bad. We're gonna run into some situations where it ain't how it's how you get out of that stuff.
That
Well, this
is
You
may be
have
true.
the
the
wrong
tools.
attitude. This may be the wrong attitude, but my mom always told me, don't never put all your eggs in one basket, and
One
that's
basket.
true.
Is that one
That's
basket
And
for
right.
don't
that?
spend
It
it,
Is that
ain't
and don't
wrong.
spend every quarter you make. And whether you married or not, you always have a nest egg in case you need to get away. And that's what I've always been taught, and that's how I've
yeah?
always operated. And I've been
I think your
successful with
mom
that
was
at times.
smart. I
See,
really do
but
think
that's
she
your
was smart.
see, that's why it's your way of thinking. Those are your thoughts, and that's the way you do. That works for you. Like all of us, we all grew up different. We have different processes, different thoughts, but nobody's wrong. You see what I'm saying? Because you're
Yeah.
entitled to that.
Yeah.
Because that's who you are. That's what shaped and mold who you are as a person.
Yes.
That
Right.
Yes.
and I
That is
appreciate
correct.
that. You know.
Yeah,
That
and I
is
didn't
I
have no
appreciate.
father around me. My father's still living,
Mm-hmm.
and he still ain't no father.
See,
So you
yeah.
don't. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have two parents, but you still can do it with
Mm-hmm.
one parent if you do it the right
You
way.
Yeah.
still can. People
Mm-hmm.
are raised every day with one parent, and that one parent does
Yeah.
an awesome job. You see it all the time. That child goes
Mhm.
off to college, become very
Well,
successful,
my
everything.
grandmother had grandma had 8 children, right? And her husband died when her children was young, young. I mean, I'm talking about she had an infant and all these 8 children. But the thing is, he did build her a home and left her with a lot of things. But the thing is that she instilled all her children with good morals and good values, and they're not in jail. And that's to go to say, see, he passed away suddenly. See, and a lot of parents they use. I mean, kids today they use that as an excuse. Oh, I didn't have my father in the house. She didn't have no man either. He passed away. That was something she couldn't help. What you gonna do? Stop raising the kids? She
Yeah,
still
that
knew
is true.
she had the parent, and that's what I'm saying. Me, I had a single parent. I
Right.
don't use. I tell my kids don't make it an excuse because your father is not here.
Well, a
Right.
lot of times, if you do have a lot of times you have a father in the house that's not a benefit to you anyway,
That's
Right.
because of the
true.
way that
That's
they treat the
true.
mother. They may be
Yeah, that's
alcoholics
true.
or women beaters
Yeah.
or what.
Right.
A lot of times it's better for your father not to be around you, because I know it was
Yeah.
better for my father not to be around. He was a pimp,
Right.
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I rather not he be around me because I don't think
Yeah.
that type of way.
Right.
And
But
That
you know
is
what's
true.
funny?
That is true.
That's the beauty that's the beauty that I see here. You know, we have so many variables with life. You don't know. There's so many different dimensions to it. So it's just a big long, it's always an extended conversation that we could bring up and have in minds, you know, meeting other minds. So I think that's a beautiful thing. You don't think it's a bad thing at all.
And
'Cause
thinking of
it's a lot.
extended conversation, this conversation
Yeah,
about
it is.
the cult with
Mhm.
John Coltharp and the leader of the Knight of the Crystal Blade. We're going to pick this up, and when we pick it up, we're going to pick up where we left off at when the popo had to go out and find these kids. That's going to be keeping you on the edge of your seat, because they're going to be out there trying to find these kids. And what I really want you to see is the grandfather and the grandmother, their interrogation, the way they act and what they're saying, and the words just don't make no sense what they're talking about. So we're going to pick back up with that on the next live, but I'm going to try to do a live this evening. So I'll go ahead, and we're going to be ending this one. Let me just go ahead and get our music playing. And I want to thank everybody for coming, everybody for being in the chat, from Greta Lee to everybody. It was not always 100% having both parents in the home. It has to be a good tone set in the home. The woman set the tone in the home. That is correct, Greta Lee. And I do want to say thank you to my panelists, Sheila, Aaron, and I said what I said. Thank you all for coming up and giving your voices out there, because a lot of women. Yes, thank you, Greta Lee. We're getting ready to go, but thank you guys. And I'm going to do a live sometime this evening. It's probably going to be about 7:00 because I want to touch bases on one of these. I'm not going to say who, but y'all know. I'm going to try to come with my docs. If I do that one, I'm going to try to come with docs. Who knows? You never know. I may change my mind in the middle of it and put somebody else up. But I'm going to try to come with my docs today. Okay, guys.
But thank you
all.
me. All right, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you, Sheila. Thank you. I said what I said. You all
okay, thanks, Pinkie, and bye, Sheila. It was nice being on the panel with you.
All right, thank you, guys.
It was a pleasure. I hope we can do it again.
Oh, we will. I love you guys. Y'all have a good
day.
Until I see you all again. Bye-bye.